What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Opinions from Offside, and we have much to discuss. Back here again with your favourite analyst. I said analyst and not analyst because that's how rumours are starting. As Kanye, have you warmed up yet? Are your feet warm? Have you got some fluffy socks?
I've got fluffy socks. I've got what they're called, sockers or soppers. Basically, the slipper and socks put together. I'm slowly getting there.
Are they like what used to be like toasties? So they're thick socks but with grip on the bottom.
No, I've got them as well.
Underneath.
Yeah, I've got them, and then these ones have got like a hard bottom, like a proper you could actually go outside of them if you wanted to, and do the school run like I see people.
Surely on a council estate, it's all about them and a robe and it, dressing gown, bag in your mouth.
Do you know what? It's not even just council estate now. It's the norm thing, which is. Listen, if that's what makes you comfortable, sound. But it's just, my mum would never have took a school like that. She'd.
Wild, isn't it? Wild. What's going on? You feel more settled in now? Used to English life?
Next question. No, it's all right. You know what? I'm getting there. I'm really enjoying. The thing is, stuff like this, like moving back to another place, it's the same as anything. If you want to look at the negatives, you'll find the negatives. You want to look for the positives, you'll find the positives. So we were literally looking today, actually, a few of my mates are on about going to the darts in Leicester next week. Right. I think it is. I think it's up to 7th October. So we're looking at going to the darts one evening, maybe 2 evenings. Have a little night down there. If any of the boys want to go, we'll find out. Messages have been sent. We'll see. What about you? What's new?
Nothing really. Just had a long week last week. As you know, I was starting to lose my voice, so I'm off tonight. I'm grateful for that. I thought we'd get a podcast in, and I'm just going to chill for the rest of the night. Did you see any of the fixtures over the weekend?
I did indeed. I watched the highlights. I seen the United game yesterday.
So I've got the first subject here. I've got big bad Bruno. So I didn't see the sending off, and I didn't want to go and look at it because I want to hear your opinion. I want you to tell me what happened. And I want to talk about really not so much the incident, but the fallout. It's all been wild, isn't it? I mean, we both obviously ribbing Spurs a little bit, as we do, and as we will again, and as we will make a feature of every episode. Like we said, that was easy. That was light work for Man United. But jokes aside, we did say that both of them are struggling at the moment. And with all the thing with Ten Hag and what's going on with United at the moment, that could just be the last straw. So what did you think of the game? What did you make of the result? And what did you think of the red card incident?
The game itself, you know what? Spurs were on top. I mean, Brennan Johnson stepped up. I think, especially the last few weeks, he's been their go-to man. He's been really good, really confident. Spurs have already won a lot. I mean, you can't let the centre-back run that far, that early in the game, through your forwards, through your centre midfield, past your centre-back, basically to the byline, to pass the ball across goal for someone to tap in. Ridiculous defending. Ridiculous.
Like the parting in the Red Sea, wasn't it? Just all over up in front of him, yeah.
I mean, there was no ginger players there, so I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Parting in the Sahara sunset.
Yeah. Sorry, Simon. But then the red card, you know what? When you mentioned about VAR, that's missed the trick there. I personally, I understand why they've given it, but to me, this is where you need a footballer there to put it into perspective. Because Maddison's got the ball, he's dribbling past Bruno. Bruno's looked like he's gone to sort of track him down, not slide for the ball. So Maddison's running this way, Bruno's coming from this angle, right? Looks like he's gone to stop or turn because he's expecting Maddison to chop across him. As you would with a player, if someone's chasing you, they cut across them, so they have to foul you or they can't get you. And Maddison's not; he's gone straight. So as he's sort of stopped, he slipped and gone looking like a 2-foot sort of thing, but he's not a 2-foot. It's not a tackle, right? But what Bruno's done to make it look worse,
no studs up though.
Well, this is what's made it worse. As he slipped, he sort of come up a little bit. But he's gone to try and block the ball with his right foot as well as slipping. And that's, as he's slipped and gone lower, the studs have gone higher and he's clipped Maddison. I need to look at it again. I've only seen it the once. It looks like he's clipped him about just under knee height.
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, safe there. I didn't see. Where's my zipper?
And your little round glasses hanging outside of school. That's
Oh,
another story.
well, just Wenger.
Sweet and cheeky smile. So
We
anyway,
love a
go
good
on.
chant. Love a good chant. So as he slipped and gone to win the ball, but because he's gone slipped down and gone higher, his foot's gone higher, and it looks like he's clipped him just underneath the knee on the back, but with the boot, not the studs. Right? I might be wrong because I've only seen it once, like I say, but it looks like he hit him with a boot. Why VAR are not just asking the referee to see that again? Because it didn't. It looks like a slip. It looks unintentional. Yellow card to me, like because you need to be in control, but he's not overly aggressive. It's not. He's not going to take him out. It's not reckless. The fact that even Madison has said that it's not a red card is crazy. So yeah, I think it's harsh, but that doesn't hide the fact that Man U were poor before that, and they were shocking afterwards. Shocking, like this is the problem. You've got a team built to get the best out of Bruno when he's not there. Awful. They had a couple of shots. Xerxes looked bright in spells. Garnacho had a couple of chances. Rashford was awful.
Again,
Awful. Yeah, I mean that to me summed it up where you're down to 10 men, you're 1-0 down against Spurs. You know what? Show some personality. You're one of the older members of the squad. You've been there longer than anyone there. Demand that ball. Do the things you need to do. Grab the game by the scruff. And it was disappointing to see that he didn't have that confidence to do that in him, which was a shame because I'd expect someone of that stature, that ability, has been on that club. Who apparently the club means that much to him. To right, you know what? All I need to do is raise my own effort. You can still play badly, just raise your own effort and do the simple things. Like as a footballer, you must be shown if it's going badly, just do the basics. It was bad. It was really bad.
You think his head's gone Paqueta style?
Who's Rashford's?
Yeah.
I don't think his head's been in it for the last 3 years since he got that big contract.
The more we watch him and the more we say about how he's playing, the more I think about back to that episode that's still up if people want to see on YouTube about lost English talent.
Yeah.
And you made a very good argument in that episode for just getting a clean break and just going to play abroad somewhere, different culture, a change, get away from Manchester and just try to rediscover and fall back in love with the game and rediscover your focus and your passion for the game. And the more I see how ineffective he is late. I mean, he did score 3 in a friendly, didn't he, recently?
He got 2 against Barnsley, and then he scored the week before.
Yeah, scoring in.
But then that's the thing that don't make sense for Ten Hag. So you're stuck with him. He's not been playing great. Then suddenly, you know what? Persistence. He's not hit any form, but he's got a goal. And I've not seen the Barnsley game, but all accounts, but against Barnsley, he looked good. Right? Okay, he should look good for 300 grand a week. England international for nearly. He's been an England international now for nearly 8 years. Like that's crazy. You should look good against Barnsley. No offense to Barnsley. I might move it up there so no one hunt me down. But he should look good. But then he scores, and then you drop him.
Yeah, I mean, that's another Moyes sort of move. He used to do similar. Like he did it with Maxwell Corner. He came on in Europe, played all right for 25 minutes, scored a goal, got a bit of confidence, went in the post-match interview and said, look, hopefully we can build on it. You didn't see him again for 3 months. He recently done it with Ings. Ings scored in the international break, only against Dagmar Redbridge, but hit the back of the net 3 times, built up some confidence, came on for the last sort of 12 minutes against Fulham. 1 chance, bang, goal, bottom corner, rescues a point. You need a goal. You don't see him. You don't come off the bench. I mean, all right, he played against Liverpool, but that, we've been through that. That was basically them conceding. We're not going to get through it. I don't know. I think confidence is a thing, right? And it's hard because we don't have the context of seeing these players like Monday to Friday on a training ground.
That'd be good to see. That would be really good to see.
To be a fly on the wall and see what they're putting in, see how they're playing, see what their attitude's like, because we don't get the benefit of that, as you was going to say. Yeah,
that would be. You'd think surely they have sports psychologists within clubs. You have everything else. You have a dietitian, a fitness coach, a strength and conditioning training, all that sort of stuff. You must have a psychologist who can, like, if I'm a sports psychologist and I'm looking at the game, I'm looking at the player's performance in that specific game, right? So say it's the last game they played, right? You can see his attitude's not there. In fact, I tell you what, let's go Liverpool just because I've watched Liverpool in a bit more detail. So if you're watching the Conor Bradley's performance against West Ham, he had a good game. Nothing spectacular of what you'd expect him. He got rinsed a couple of times, right? But he didn't let him. He wasn't disheartened, right? He carried on. He kept chasing. Surely the psychology part of that is right. Let's sit down. Let's speak with the psychologist. I'd sit there with the analyst. I can't even say it. That's the one. The analyst. That comes out easier for some reason.
Comes in easy as well.
Yeah, excuse me. So I'd sit there and go, right, he done you here. What were you thinking? Just asking the questions, your mindset, because you might be one of those strong people to think, right, I took that personal. I put it on my plate. Right, you ain't going to do that again. I make him go a different way. You might be one of those, well, yeah, better than me. And you go from there. So surely sitting there with Rashford and you'd sit there and go, right, you had a good game against Barnes there. Like, you look dangerous. You look confident on the ball. The Spurs game, what was different? If he's going to say the opposition was better, well, was it? Pedro Porro is not known for defending. Right? Obviously, he can defend, but he's not known for defending. Right? He's more of a forward-thinking fullback. So your chance was to get him. The problem you've got is because you're not doing it when you've got the ball, he's then bombing forward and doing it from the right-back position. Because this is exactly what I used to do. I'd bomb forward and leave you. If you don't want to come with me, watch me destroy your left-back. And then with my right midfielder and me, 2-on-1 would kill him. Now you're getting screamed at.
Overloading down the flank then, aren't you?
Yeah. So now he's got a choice. Either you have to wait for it to break and look dangerous when you get the ball, where I think as a right back, right, I'm not going to go forward anymore because he's too quick for me to catch, or he's doing bits when he gets the ball. Or if you're not going to do it on the ball, you have to now come back. Where do you want Rashford if you're playing against him? 35 yards into his own half. Brilliant. You ain't going to score from there. You ain't no danger to me.
You're neutralising the threat.
Yeah, and if you've got someone like Van der Ven, who's been clocked as the fastest defender in the Premier League, I think he hit 38 kilometres an hour last week or the week before. That's fast. That's crazy. So if he's hitting that, no, not 38, 28. Was it 30? I don't know. He's fast. But so if you've got him covering there, I don't mind risking it a couple of times, especially when you're only playing one forward and Xerxes dropping deep. I don't mind that. So it's madness to me why someone's not sat down and spoke to him. Maybe Ten Hag should do it. What, as the manager, take responsibility. Listen, let's chat. What's going on? Where's your head at? Let's talk. Because you're not feeling confident in you striking the ball too hard, or is it you? Because I've done this before. When you try it too hard, you lift your head up. Yeah, you lift your head up to see where it's going before you've actually fully connected with the ball, and it's 100%. One of those things. But you think this is something they've done.
Do you know, striking the ball is it's like we spoke about it before. You drill so much that it's second nature. You can do it in your sleep. It's like sleeping. It's like singing. You can't try and do it. It comes from a place of relaxation and repetition. You can't try. You know, like if you've got I'm a nightmare for that. Like if you've got to be up early and you know your alarm's going off at 7 or something. I'm laying there at 2 thinking if I fall asleep now, I've got 5 hours. If I fall asleep now, I've got 4 hours. If I fall asleep now, I've only got 3 hours. Fuck it, I've only got 2.5 hours. You know, before you know it, like you're not settled. And it's the same with singing. You can't try to sing. You're not relaxed enough in the throat and all these muscles and the vocal cords. And it's the same when you're going for a bad vein of form. You tend to snatch at the ball. You tend to drag the ball. You know, you don't hit it smoothly. And I don't really play, but I imagine, well, I know, but without knowing firsthand, golf is the same. You know, your swing can be the same, your technique can be the same, but it can really get in your mind, you know, and so that's a mental thing. So you're bang on with a point about the sports psychology. Someone needs to take him out of that. Coming back to the sending off of Bruno, have you seen ex-referee Dermot Gallagher's take on it? Have you seen what he thinks? So he said here, like 100% he thinks it's a yellow. So the referee on the day was Chris Kavanagh. He said, I don't think Chris, the referee, sees the challenge happen. The assistant flags it and he has a different view and a different angle. If you let it run on and you see the assistant's view, you can understand why the assistant would relay that it's high and off the ground because it's caught him. However, when you play it through, you can see it's just a glancing blow. It doesn't catch him how he thinks it does. I can understand him not seeing it, but this is why you've got a team and you've got the benefit of VAR. On the intervention of VAR, he added, I can't understand it because they talk about the threshold. I'm not a referee's coach, and I never would be, but those headsets the assistant has passed on to the referee is because he's seen it. You have to trust your colleagues. So he said for him, it's only a yellow. And he's saying that if you're going to have, this comes back, I thought, nicely to what we spoke about on the other episode. If you're going to have assistants waving a flag at you, you're going to have the benefit of VAR. You're going to have people in Stockley Park having an opinion. It all comes down to human error, which speaks to my point, but it also speaks to your point. Allow him to have the technology, but one man makes a decision. That's the on-field referee. He just gets the benefit of seeing it from every angle. Because the more you see things, the more you can find an argument for or against. And I always think, and this has been said before, when you watch anything in slow motion, it looks 10 times worse.
Yeah. Have you seen me running? Terrible.
I just thought that was normal speed. I didn't realise that we'd slowed it down.
No. It was like 0.9%. Yeah. Right.
Talking of which, just coming off the subject a minute, did you manage to go and play football? On the last episode, you were talking about you were going to see your cousin's team and you're hoping to get a little game on Sunday morning. No,
I took the dog up to go and watch, though.
Right, and what did you make of it? Was you impressed by the standard you're going to be going into? You get
Bro,
ready to...
I sent you the message. The standard was atrocious. It was atrocious, bro. Like, honestly, I kid you not. If that's how we looked when I played Sunday League, hook me off. Like, I know it's for fun, but it was so bad. Like, so bad.
But what sort of level is it? Is there like, I mean, like, I don't know what it's like up in your area, but in London and Essex, there's like the Echo League and certain leagues, and there's different standards. There's like, Premier, you know, there's you could have been watching somebody at like the bottom of the Sunday League, which is just like dads with beer bellies playing for the pub team. Like, I don't know what you was watching.
No, one of the teams was like, looked like between 17 and 19 years old.
Oh, really?
One of the teams was really young with like 2 or 3 experienced players, and the other team was sort of a mixed, and like it was bad, bro. What is like? I kid you not. If I played in either of those teams, right, and I thought, if in playing that game, I thought, well, this is going to be a battle. Halfway through the game, or even 10 minutes into the game, I'd have been appalled at myself. I even messaged our mate Ali Mitchell saying, if Guild of the Builders team played in this league, we would absolutely destroy them. The standard was terrible.
What was it? Athleticism or touch or know-how, or what was wrong? Like,
I genuinely thought, if I was analysing that, I thought they'd just started playing football 3 weeks ago. Bad, bro. Right, and the younger team, obviously the guy on the sorry, because he had the dog with me, he had his jacket on, he was showing off. I'm walking all the way around the pitch, like constantly, to keep him on the move. So I was hearing conversations from both sides, and clearly the coach on the younger team side, they had obviously come through, and he was he thought he was a proper coach. And I was just like, some of the things he was saying, like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you are making no sense to me at the side. You told someone, right, I don't want you stepping inside. I want you to stay high and wide, but don't forget to help you fall back out. And if there's space, exploit it. Right, you've just contradicted yourself 4 times in that one sentence. Stay out wide, but exploit the space. Oh, mate, what are you doing? And like, it was so like we when I played Sunday League, right, we had a team called Monster Wasps, right, up the Wobbies, and it was basically just lads from Morris State. All of us from Morris State. We were all half decent, played at a good level. I think our best season, we came second in the league, lost 2 cup finals, and then lost in a quarterfinal. When I say an absolute worldie goal, I've never seen a goal like it. Like, I mean, worlder.
You played with me, of course you have.
Yeah, but you're the fox in the box. You're like a young Freddie Jeffers.
Yeah.
This was. I think the score was 5-4 to us. Extra time, balls come out. One of our lads has headed it out, and it's a good header, probably 25 yards out to the right hand side. It's fell to the centre back, and on the volley, with the ball up above his hit, he's volleyed it. And you know when you think, what are you doing? Like, you know what it was? You see the Liverpool Everton where Van Dijk hits the volley and it hits the bar and Origi scores. It's that sort of volley, right? But he must have just caught it like he'd never caught a ball before in his life, and it is just arrowed into the top corner off the post, like right in the corner. And you're like,
wow, apex.
Even their first 3 goals were like ridiculous, like you just like ridiculous goals to concede, just out of this world, like just ridiculous top bins. Like you've gone to cross it and it's just bent in the top bin, or he's chopped inside and sliced the ball and it's bent that side, like like on your good foot. And then we lost on penalties, and it was just like crazy. And that was just all lads from the estate, all boys. We just came together. We played. We had some people that were naff, but they understood the role. You come on when the games are done. We had some people that were great. Like I've said a few times before, Ashley was good. Jerome was good. My brother. We had some really good players that played for us, like Andy Taylor. But I mean, Frenchie was Baines. I've got to name all of them, otherwise they'll kick off. But it was just like lads off the estate. You think you guys have been coached, and you look like you've been coached from a young age, and you guys are dog shit. like, to the point.
None of that standard Sunday. Like, did you see any good goals or anything?
I think they finished 3-1 to the blue team, which I think they were called Leicester United. I think, and one of them was the best goal was right, and it wasn't even a good goal. In fact, no, that's a lie. The red team with the young kids did put a good goal together. Nice little passing move. Ball's come from the middle, played out to the right. He took on his man. He's come inside. He's played it across to the centre forward, who could have had a shot, but there was 2 players blocking him. And all he's done, he's sort of turned his body halfway and slipped in a side pass to the 18-yard line. And the guy has just walked onto it and slotted it in the side corner. Good goal, but not representative of the game. That was the only bit of like football on the floor you've seen. But it was hilarious, bro. Honestly, it was that bad. I was researching how to become a referee because I didn't want to play in it.
But surely the team you're going to play for won't be in that sort of standard or that sort of league, will it?
No, my cousin's team. Well, it depends. He talks a good game. He said he's quite good, but he tried to say he's the best in our family. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Does he watch this?
He better do. But
what's his name?
Linford. But when I said to him about playing, he said to me, "The team. This is his mindset. Like he's supposed to be a good player. I've not actually seen him play. Right? I've seen him take penalties. That's what I've seen. But he said to me, he's usually a striker because I might play centre back this weekend. But if this team are good, I'll get sent off after 10 minutes. I was like, bro, that's the wrong attitude. Like if a team's good and they're better than you, it's on them to beat you. Bring it on. Like, let's go. If you can't beat the team, I'll win my battle, and then we'll go from there."
Yo, Linford, hustle him, bruv. Show him what time it is. Come on, you've got to show him the family pride, Linford. Come on. Make him up his game. He's old and cold. His feet are icicles. He runs in slow motion.
True that.
So, yeah, you'll have to report back on that. So, did you see many of the games over the weekend? You want to talk about the weekend fixtures real quick?
Watch the highlights of them. So, we had our little guest, didn't we? We had our little predictions.
We did. Yeah, we should have wrote them down because it obviously documented online, but I can't remember how we did. So, obviously,
I did take a picture. I did go through it and listen to it, and I've got some of them.
We thought Man United would turn Spurs over, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So we both got that wrong.
Half of that was tongue in cheek, though.
We just wanted both teams to lose.
We did, yeah. Actually, I thought that we both made a case for if they could get Isaac playing for Newcastle. I think you might have gone for 1-1 Newcastle City. I thought City might narrowly pick it, so I think you might have got that one right. Chelsea Brighton. I think we said they were both playing well, but you'd fancy it. Cole Palmer scored 4 in that one, didn't he?
Yeah, they're really good. I'll tell you what.
He got all 4, and he was gutted not to have got more.
He could have had 6. I watched the highlights. He could have had 6.
So here's a question for you, and this was on TalkSport this morning, and Simon Jordan was having a debate with Martin Keown. He was saying basically, as Pep, as he dropped a bollock there, letting him go. And Simon Jordan, right? So go on, tell us your point of view.
No, because if it had stayed at Man City, he wouldn't be the player he is now. Is this player now because he's basically walked into that man's Chelsea team. He's proven how good he is, and he's the main man. Like, I wanted to speak to you about this before, about this Brighton game. Brighton made the biggest mistake tactically I've ever seen a team do. How the hell are you deciding to play on the halfway line against a team with pacey players like Sancho, Jackson, and Madueke just bursting past you? I kid you not, the amount of times that Chelsea burst through that defensive line and the offside trap was useless, probably seven or eight times easily just in the first half.
Really?
It was a shocking tactical decision. My opinion. Yeah, I mean, just drop back a little bit. Take away the speed of these players. Take them into a one-on-one defensive outlet. You mean these are professional defenders? You expect better. Yes, Palmer will get on the ball, but he'll get on the ball in 35, 40 yards out. I know he pinged a free kick in, but he ain't going to ping a goal in from there. If Sancho and Madueke can take on their man, all your man has to do is make them hit it hard enough where the centre back can cover you. Because one of the other centre back will have Jackson. There's only one ball on the pitch. So, and I thought it was tactically, I think it was very naive of the Brighton manager. I know he's got a better reputation than me, and it's easy to say afterwards, but I just thought it was all wrong tactically. And then he didn't change it until half time, and they just kept getting caught.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad to watch. Like, I mean, even Brighton's 2 goals were from goalkeeping mistakes. Brighton didn't create a lot. I think they created one chance from Welbeck running down the right and crossed the ball, but no, Brighton were surprisingly poor for that game.
Yeah, they've been off to a good start, and so it's surprising like that. And Chelsea, I must say, they're starting to come together. Like under Maresca, he's starting to find players' best positions and stuff, and move them about. And like you say, like Palmer's he's on fire at the moment. Do you think he needs more minutes for England? And do you think he's going to be world class, or is he there already?
He was one of our best players in the Euros and barely played.
Didn't get enough minutes, did he?
So that's crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, I look at, if you're going to be world class, I think world class in the world today, you've got to be top 10. And it was a topic I was going to bring up with you. What actually defines world class? Because I said the Robbie Savage thing, didn't I? Savage. To me, world class, you've got to be top 10 in the world. Like, you have to be in that conversation like we had about goalkeepers.
In your position.
In your position, yes, in your position. To be classed as a top 10, I mean, I don't know what position you'd say Palmer is. Is he a 10?
I guess so. He can play all across the midfield, can't he, really? And
the only thing that I think will stop him from being elite level is he's not rapid. I mean, he's quick, but he's not rapid. But I don't know if you've seen the highlights. There's a couple of balls he took. One of the balls, it came behind him when he got put through, and he slowed himself down, but not turned, and just took it from behind him, rolled it straight in front of him, and he should have scored. It was brilliant the way he done it. Really, really good. And the way that Chelsea set up suits him. I think he's just so good with the threat of people running in behind, and then with the speed of thought he had, him and Sancho linked up a couple of times. Sancho looks different player to the one at United. He looks a different player.
Yeah, this is again, I think sometimes like a change is as good as a rest, isn't it? I mean, I know it's not a change of country, but just sometimes getting out into a different environment, a different team can freshen a player up. Just coming back to the debate on TalkSport, Martin Keown was saying that basically that's a mistake on Pep's part when you have a player knocking on your door that's potentially, world class or potentially one of the better players in the Premier League, but he's not yet there. It's all potential. He's saying that someone like Wenger would have said to him, look, be patient, your chance is coming. I'll try and give you more minutes and whatnot. I mean, Simon Jordan was like, no, he hasn't made a mistake. He's got a plethora of talent. He's got an embarrassment of riches. And if you start forcing somebody to stay, it's like having a bird. You force them to stay when they don't want to. Number one, it's not going to take a lot to have a bad attitude. You're also then in their pocket, and then you're beholden to him. What do I have to do? Then I have to play you when I wasn't going to play you, or I have to play you the next 10 games, no matter what your form is. So he says sometimes you just got to let people go, whether it's staff members, whether it's players, just let them go. And he said the exact thing that you came straight out with, and that is he would not be the same player trying to get in against De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri.
He plays out wide, so you've got Doku, Grealish. Who else plays on the right hand side? You've got Savinho. They've just got Foden plays on that side. So you've got talent there anyway. Sorry, I'm just putting my fluffy socks on. Feet are cold.
It's go on.
But then I look at it and just think, right. I remember people saying when they spent 40 million on him, people were saying that's a lot. I remember that. People were saying that's a lot for a 40 million for a player that's not. Now all of a sudden it's forgot about that. Like, no. Chelsea took the risk on him. Fair play to Chelsea's scouting staff, or whether it was lucky, but I'm hoping it's great scouting. They seen the play that was there. They thought 40 million was a good investment. He's 100 million. He's easily now, if he's probably even more because of his long contract now. But he is such a player. I mean, his free kick was outrageous. Like, I didn't know he had that in his lock off, but it was a wand of a left foot.
It always is the left. Yeah, it looks like a bargain now. I guess they took a chance though because they were buying potential, like unproven. Like, back when Rio went to Leeds for 18.5 million, it was like you're not buying the made product. Season. Yeah, you're not buying the finished article. So yeah, Chelsea are looking good. It all seems to be coming together. Let's have a look. We sort of got that right. We'll leave that one for in a minute because it's my team. Everton Palace. I think we both
said Palace.
Both said Palace.
Yeah, we had a conversation where you said, will Dyche carry on if they allow it? And I said to you, I think what Dyche has done, he's got the best out of Dwight McNeil. He'll just hit the ground running at some point, and then he bagged two. And his first one was outrageous. Like, it's like a knuckleball in the top bin. Like, outrageous, his first goal.
Yeah, you did. You called exactly that. The other thing is, with the exception of Saturday, I was saying on the West Ham podcast when we recorded it Sunday, I said, like, who would you say has been off to a, because Sat and Gacy, we were talking about like how we were doing and the whole transfer debate and starting and whatever. And I said, would you agree that Everton have got off to a shocker? And they were both like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, they're losing games, they're throwing away leads. They're 1 point behind us. Yeah. There's a point in it. Do you know what I mean? So that puts it into context and into perspective as to where we are. So yeah, hats off to Everton who done a piece. I was surprised at that because Palace are a funny team. They've got some really good individual players and sometimes they look like world beaters. Yeah. I definitely think they're going to miss Elise. I
think they have. I think that's what made the difference. You know what it is now? Without Elise and that player that can take someone on one-on-one. So basically what I've noticed is when you watch what made Wharton and Eze look really good is Eze can play a man.
Make the space.
Yes. Because they have to twos up on Elise or they have to twos up on Eze. So if they're twos up on one, there's space for the other one. And that's what, and then they had, they got rid of Ayew to Leicester. And I think that was a mistake because what Ayew did on the left, he did the doggy work for the other two. Yeah. So he did a lot of the running, a lot of the covering on the left side, up and down to allow Mitchell to tuck in a little bit to then let the fullback, the centre back shift across to the right back, Muniz, who's rapid as well. And then at least they didn't have to do that tracking back, which then when they broke, they had Eze, Wharton could get the ball quick. Elise, Mateta was on fire, he was holding the ball up, doing really well. And I think in my opinion, they've took too many parts of the machine away without properly thinking about replacing the parts yet. I still think they'll come good, but I mean, there was talk of this Glasner going to Bayern Munich just because of what he did at Palace in that 6 months. Like,
well, as you know, you don't have to do a lot to get a job at Bayern Munich, but that's a whole episode we keep meaning to do.
I can get relegated.
Crazy. So yeah, hats off to them and the way they're playing. Like Wharton could definitely spray a pass about. I just think Eze's struggling for the sort of room that he used to get with Elise. Forest lost their unbeaten record, going down 1-0 to Fulham. Did you see much of that?
I seen as well. Fulham are one of them where, you know what it is? When Fulham lose anyone outside the top six, you don't know what it is. It's not even that. If you take the top six out of it, say top seven actually, top seven in the league, your main big guns. If they played against Fulham, you wouldn't be shocked with a win or a loss. Does that make sense? So if you played Fulham and you lost, you'd be like, yeah, it's Fulham. If you won, you'd be like, well, it's Fulham. And it's weird to say that. Like, they're so hit and miss. Not even hit and miss. They're so just... I don't know. Maybe their expectation levels are just sort of like half in between where we think they should be, because they could quite easily finish 7th and they could quite easily finish 16th.
It's a
And you
funny
won't bat
old.
an eyelid.
No, it's a funny old club. You ever been to Craven Cottage for a game?
No.
It's all very like middle class, and you're in the concourse, and the home fans are mixing with the away fans, and nobody says like boo to a goose, and it's all very civil. And then looking at the moment, like West Ham played them recently, looking down their squads, especially their first 11, mate, they've got some good players, and they're a good team unit. You look at like they've just signed Anderson, Crystal Palace. I really like Calvin Bassey. I think he's really underrated. He can play at centre back or left back or sort of left wing back. I really, really like him. Like obviously Jimenez, Raul Jimenez, he can pop up with a goal.
Muniz was flying last year up top.
Muniz
He got like
flying.
6 and 6 or something.
Yeah.
Robinson, the American left back, and then you got your midfield with Awobe, Emil Smith Rowe.
But he's really quick. He's really quick, and he Robinson.
Yeah.
So I like their fullbacks. I like their midfield looks strong.
There's talk of Liverpool in for Robinson. There's a replacement for Robertson, apparently, yeah.
Well, it's easy enough on the shirt, isn't it? A couple of letters. easy enough for the scouts to learn how to, spell it. So.
Oh, it's not that. It's when I play FIFA with the Spanish commentary. It's the roll of the R's. It's Andy Robertson.
Robertson. And Esala. Is it Esala? So there's an S on the beginning, isn't it?
Esala. It's when they talk about Ronaldinho. It's brilliant. If you on your FIFA, change your commentary to Spanish and just play with Ronaldinho and just tell me that's not hilarious.
All right, I will do. Sat, you know Sat from the West Ham podcast. He lives in Japan. He lives in Japan, and he was saying the other day, what was it? He watches the Premier League football, but with the Japanese commentary, and it was something like, and I won't do the Japanese accent for fear of being politically incorrect, but he was saying,
all right, Steve McLaren.
Yeah, Steve McLaren. It was like every so often, it was something like super keeper or something like the bloke was shouting the commentator. And it was just like really cheering him up when he caught the ball or whatever. It was like a proper, like over animated, like super keeper.
That's crackers. I wouldn't mind watching that.
And then so the yesterday's game, we've got
Leicester Arsenal as well.
Yeah, so let's have a look at that. Leicester Arsenal. What did we say with that?
We both said 3-0, I think.
Yeah, we did both fancy an easy Arsenal win, but that was 2-2 until, wasn't it?
91st minute, and they were lucky. They were very lucky.
Yeah. What happened?
James Justin's goal, brilliant half volley. Not even half volley. It was on the side volley. He's pinged it. Yeah, great goal, James Justin. They went 2-0 up, racing to a 2-0 lead. And then, to be fair to Leicester, when I say they were lucky, not really lucky, because Leicester goalkeeper had a good game, good second half. The fourth goal he should do better with. And the third goal basically come from a set piece. And Leicester, as he showed on the analysis, Arsenal have been doing this all day. The free kick, the corners to the back post, they crowd the middle and have two players at the back post. And when you looked at the clip, there's two Leicester players on the front post blocking the short one. So they've gone long. If it's not whipped in with enough pace, I expect the keeper's going to get it. But Trossard was stood at the back post, free volley. It's gone through three legs, touched a couple of people on the way through and gone in. It's very lucky, yeah. And then the fourth goal was basically because Leicester were trying to push. And like I say, even then, the keeper saved it and pushed it right as the way of Havertz. And it's one of the few mistakes he made in the second half. But they're lucky, I think, very lucky.
How close do you think from the initial games? How close do you think Arsenal are going to get to challenge him for the?
You know what it is? It's the rest of the Premier League, and it sounds horrible to say. We need City to struggle with injuries. Like that's what we need to make it competitive. I think you've got Liverpool, Arsenal battling for second. I heard Gary Neville say that Liverpool are miles behind the two of them. I was like, I think you're crazy. Arteta's had 4 years with that team. Is it 4 years or 3 years he's been there? 4 years with that team. And now the team are playing. We've just changed manager. Like last year, you said that we were on level. Now, because we've changed manager, you say we're far behind. Like, I think that's crazy talk from GN, but I think it's battling out for the two of us. The second spot. We need, and it sounds, I don't wish injury on anyone. But we need, I tell you what, let's not have an injury. let Haaland get a red card. Make it interesting. I think it'll be interesting now without Rodri, but I think in January, I think you'll see Man City go and get Zubimendi.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Not about Mendy, but when you said about like they need an injury, I was going to say that without Rodri, and he is like sort of like that linchpin in that midfield, isn't he? But then,
yeah,
you know,
they looked against Newcastle. They looked like it was a bit. It looked like they had too many eights playing. There wasn't the six with that mindset of just literally you can pass the ball 10 yards and get the ball back, and then before they've shifted, you can move the ball again. Like it's that six mindset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see in January, because apparently there's talk that Zubimendi's regretting staying at Sociedad, but then there's also like Arnie Slot saying that we've moved on from that, and like basically you had the chance, you said no to us. Okay, sound no problem. We accept your decision. And then you see how Zubimendi came on for Spain in the Euros final against England, and arguably Spain were better when he came on. I think Man City will go and get him, and he'll be the long-term successor, and they'll just rotate the two.
Yeah, it's hard to see him. It's hard to see him getting game time when Rodri's up and well, though. You know, but then
I
like
think you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
just because he plays in such a similar way to Rodri. I think you'll see him play League Cup games. Man City usually get to the latter stages of League Cup games. I think you'll see him play FA Cup games, and I think you'll see him play rotation games. I think he'll get if Man City play 70 games a season, I think you'll see him probably start 20, 25 and be involved in a total of 35, 40. Let's not forget, Rodri's the one complaining he's playing too many games. So
crazy. And leaving our respective teams until the end, we also had Ipswich actually having a valiant effort holding Champions League team Villa to a draw.
Yeah,
that was quite a late show as well. Did you see any of that? What did you think of that? I was half.
I didn't see any of that.
No, I was half pleased for Ipswich because I thought that's battling, and Villa obviously they've got Champions League to contend with, which is new for them. But I actually thought that was like, you know, I quite like to see that from Ipswich until I remembered that we've got to go and try and get 3 points off them on Saturday. And Lopetegui's under pressure, so I don't think that's going to be a gimme. A lot of people saying, it's a must win because we've got to start getting points on the board and whatnot. I think that's going to be a struggle. You know, it's relatively local derby. It's like East Anglia, and you know, but it's not a million miles away from Essex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from sort of that area, that sort of.
I think you've got to look at it as like how West Ham are at the minute, where they are. You've got to look at the teams around you at the minute. You've got to look at it like you're in a relegation dogfight now to get out of it. Like, so, right, we need to set up to make. I'd look at it. You've got 3 tiers. You've got the teams where a point is a bonus, right? So you've got like your top 8. Next ones to that, you got to look at your top. The next 6 teams below that. Got to look at, right, these are the ones where we should be getting points out of 50% of the games to help us. Then you got, if you look at the top, say the 6 after that, take your top 8, that leaves 8 around you where, right, we need to be getting 7 to 8% of wins here. Like, we need to be getting maximum points out of these. And I think Ipswich is one of those where you've got to look at that as, right, this is where we need to take points. We've got to go and have a go, put them under pressure, make them feel it, because Ipswich look a good team. They gave Liverpool a run for the money the first day of the season. But there's that championship naivety about them, which I'd expect West Ham to be able to do and deal with. But maybe is this like something that Lopetegui's not seen yet, or got that in his locker to deal with that yet?
Yeah, Ipswich, Everton, Bournemouth, Leicester. These are the teams at the minute that you need to try and pick up points and pull away from if we want to get anywhere. But before we probably go on to West Ham, so Ipswich, Villa, that was a decent one. And then your team, Liverpool, professional performance, 2-1, or did they struggle?
No, you know what? Sam Johnson made a couple of good saves. He stopped one from Szoboszlai, where the commentators basically said, like, Szoboszlai should do better. I don't see what you can do. Like, the ball's gone out to Andy Robertson. He's pinged the ball across about knee high in that corridor of uncertainty that we talk about. And Szoboszlai got the volley on it, and Johnson's just gambled, made himself big, and it's hit him and gone wide. I don't know what more you can do. What are you expecting to do? Take a touch and sell the keeper? I mean, that's a great move if he does. Or try and put it in the top corner when in that sort of time, that sort of position, just hit the target. And 9 times out of 10, you score. 99 times out of 100, you score. Just that one time he didn't. And then Konate got the goal, which was to get over the scoring. And it was funny to see because I was basically saying what the commentators were saying. So we got the two centre backs up for the corner. Ball had broke out, and we passed it a couple of times. You could see Van Dijk basically saying, "Put the ball in the box." You've got Konate up there. You've got Jota in there. Van Dijk in there. Who else was there? I think Curtis Jones might have been in the box as well. We had another player in there, and when the ball was gone to Jota, Jota crossed it. Konate just got up early, got the header in. The goal that we conceded was Konate having a nightmare. What's he doing? Tried to shield the ball out of play, but then didn't shield the ball. And the player ran around him, got the ball and passed it across. Like, he's very immature defending from Konate, which is not how he's been shown the last couple of games. And then he had the cheek to say, who picks man of the match? How did I get man of the match? Well, you gave them a goal. He literally gave them a goal. And then the penalty, it's a stonewall. Like, Jota's about to nod that in, grabs hold of him, brings him down. It's a stonewall penalty. Like, it's one of them where that's why they're our bogey team. We just don't seem to put them to bed.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Wolves will be all right this season?
I don't know. You know why? Because there's a few little things that they do. Like, as an example, the last 4 minutes of the game, they need a goal. They pass the ball around the back two and the goalkeeper 6-7 times. Like, and it baffled me. Why are you not working the space, getting the ball forward, and just pumping it into the box? Like, I don't get that. Like, you don't need to play pretty football now. Like, this time, this is where you unsettle people, and maybe they've looked at the centre backs we had with Konate and Van Dijk, and it's against them. But then just put it on one of the fullbacks. Play the second ball. You're in that or off. Then I like Gary O'Neill. I think he's a good manager. I just hope that this is just if he has off days, I hope it's against us all the time. But I think Wolves will be fine. Like, they've got some good quality, and I think around the teams around them, I think they'll do well. Like, especially if they carry on playing like that with the pressure they did and the way they moved the ball, it was good.
And turning the conversation, the same question as previously about your team. Do you think what's your realistic hopes for this season? You'd expect that Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City will be battling it out, but do you think you can do it from what you're seeing under Slot, the way you're playing? I mean, Jota seems to really pop up a lot on the score sheet, that he seems to be in the right place at the right time all the time. Even that in the cup game, just seems to pop up nowhere in front of the keeper and all sorts of little pockets.
Yeah, I think the only problem with Jota is keeping him fit. I think if he could stay fit, I think he'd be a brilliant addition for us. I think he'd score 25 goals for us in a year, like, very comfortably. He's surprisingly good in the air, got a good leap on him, clinical with either foot, left or right, but then he floats out wide and does other stuff which makes him a nuisance to mark. You know what I mean? And then with our free-flowing front three, if it's Gakpo, if it's Chiesa, if it's Salah, if it's Nunez, if it's Diaz, they're all comfortable going anywhere and just being a nuisance anywhere. So I think we've got the front six to deal with it. I think we need a little bit of strength in the middle. You know what? When Conor Bradley's come on for Trent, I want him to do well, and I just don't think he's hit the heights of last year yet. I don't know whether he's trying to play in the Alexander-Arnold position, dropping into midfield, but he's not looked as good as he was last year. And hopefully that's not he wasn't overperforming last year. It's one of them where he's just hit a little plateau and he can come through, because he's only young still. So I think we could do well. I think our realistic target would be to get second. Would be a realistic target. I just don't see anyone keeping up with Man City.
You're not going to win it, you don't think?
I don't see City. I see City dropping points in maybe 5 more games, and that'll be it.
FA Cup?
I think we could get a trophy. I think we could definitely we could be there or thereabouts in the FA Cup, especially if Brighton do what they did against Chelsea against us. We'll destroy them with the pace we've got with Diaz and Salah. We'll rip them apart doing that. League Cup's always an option for us. Like, I think Slot will put his effort into the League Cup. And I think with Champions League, there's always a chance. Like once you get to the knockout stages, Champions League's always there. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And then finally, my team drew 1-1 with the Bees at Brentford. Did you see any of that at all?
I watched the highlights. Yeah, I watched the highlights. To concede that goal, shocking. Like you had a couple of chances to get the ball away, and Brentford kept getting the second balls. Yeah, as I've seen little bits of it. Even, to be fair, even the goal, maybe I'm being harsh. I thought Areola could have done better. He's caught it and spun it backwards, and gone. I know it's gone high, but it's gone slow. And a goalkeeper of that wage as well, and that ability and that reputation, I'd expect him to have got that. If I'm honest.
This was a topic of conversation on the Overland and C-Word Patreon podcast for the Hammers Chat West Ham that you featured on recently. And that was that Tony Cottee was on Sport recently, and he was mainly talking about not really wanting Lopetegui, and it was never his choice. But club legend, who played for your team, of course, Leicester and Everton, Tony Cottee, as well as West Ham, he was saying that he was disappointed that West Ham didn't go out and buy a keeper, which at first threw me, because Fabianski's getting older but pretty solid. And Areola's the France number 2, and he's, pretty good in the shot stopper. But he said, take away the shot stopping, that's all he is. He doesn't command his box. He doesn't come and claim catches. His distribution's no good. There's maybe like a communication problem. You look at West Ham's record, and some of that's defence, and some of that's that there's no protection from the midfield. And actually, I put it to the boys on the podcast, and we could all sort of see. He said he's good, but he said we should have gone after Ramsdale from Arsenal before he went to Southampton. And he said that what we've got is 2 number 2s and no real commanding number 1. And I could sort of see his point on that. As a neutral, can you see that? I
can see where he's coming from, because Areola's been a number 2 most of his career, hasn't he? And I get... It all depends. Like when you come with the goalkeeper tag, and bearing in mind now the wage he's on, it's going to be hard to shift him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's going to be difficult. No one's going to pay that money for a number 2. That week.
We've made it permanent from PSG and all. So the money he would have been on and the money he'd have to be on to be with us, someone else ain't going to pay that unless he's going straight in. He had a great season with Fulham. Do you remember that season when he was on loan at Fulham? He had a great season there.
But what was he asked to do?
Yeah, but
Fulham was set up to play to his strengths. Yeah, play to his strengths. Listen, you can take the shots. Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah, we are conceding a ridiculous number of chances and goals at the minute. There was also a bit of a bone of contention. Kudus or Kudos, however you want to say it, hasn't been in opposition at the moment. He took him off. He played him out on the left wing. He's not a left winger, but he had a decent game. But then the bar's really low for the standard this season. But he's had probably best game on the left this season. Was quite direct and out, was doing it on his own, had a couple of shots, and apparently he fell out. The rumours behind closed doors, he fell out with one of the coaching staff and told Lopetegui to fuck off. So he got substituted at half time, and then he brought Somerville on, and then had a little jig about it. And we played much better as a team unit, more balanced. And this has been my argument for weeks on that West Ham podcast, and it's been our topic of conversation about our England team trying to fit all your best players in and not necessarily the right man for the job. And we reference Lampard and Gerrard and Scholes and trying to get them all in. And it's a case of that. And Lopetegui in the post-match interview basically said we decided to take him off. He didn't mention the fallout. He just said because we switched it up so that we played more like a team. But apparently he was like, Lopetegui and his coaching staff were saying you've got the opportunity to pass and you're refusing to pass. You're being greedy and trying to shoot from the edge of the box. And he was saying, like, there's no support. I'm making a break and beating 3 players. There's no one there with me. I've got no choice. You know what I mean? Other than turn it round on the heels and play it back again. And I'm trying to progress the ball up the pitch. So another rumour, I don't know if this is true, this come from another YouTube channel saying that he's put in a transfer request and he wants to be out as soon as possible. All is not well at the Hammers at the moment behind closed doors. I mean, I've referenced it. We keep having this, and the boys on the West Ham podcast keep laughing at me because I've been saying it since pre-season that I thought it was a scattergun approach and not really the right puzzle parts for a style of play. It's can't get Duran, let's get Fulcrew. Can't get Jota Silva, let's get Somerville. can't get Fofana, and let's get Guido Rodriguez. They're entirely different players. Apparently, Tadibo looked all right Saturday. Looked a bit better. He got a 7 or an 8.
He didn't look too bad, to be fair.
A lot of the channels, he was quite pacey. We still got this problem. I mean, there's a debate between the sticks with the goalkeepers. There's definitely a problem at the back. We've conceded 15 goals so far this season in 6 league games. So the defence is a problem. We're definitely light at centre-back to the point where we were looking at Matip on a free as well as John Egan. And the backup plan was, it's all right, Alvarez can play centre-back. You see how that went at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right? So we're short of centre-back, right? We're definitely short of full-back because he's having to take Wan-Bissaka off the right and play him at left-back because otherwise Cresswell's coming on when he's running backwards practically. Kufau at the moment is out of favour, so he actually played centre-back Mavropanos on the right for the second half and moved Wan-Bissaka onto the left. So we're short at full-back, right? Alvarez was injured, Paqueta's head's gone. So our choices for the centre midfield was super slow 30-odd-year-old Rodriguez, Andy Irving, which is a bit of a meme. Obviously...
Sufal.
Souček, who is a good box crasher, but not the best in centre mid. So we're definitely, with Soler, who we don't know what he's done, and so far he's looked like getting sent off twice. So we're definitely light in midfield. And we're definitely not creating any chances. Mm-hmm. And Bowen's desperately out of form. And we've got Antonio, who his head's gone. Ings is past his sell-by date. And Fulkrug is also approaching 32 and really slow and injured and hasn't scored a single goal for us yet. All our strikers above the age of 31. He's the youngest out of our 3 striking options. So we're light up front. So let's reiterate. Question marks in goal. Question marks at centre-back. We're light. We're light at full-back. We're light in the midfield. We're light on chance creation. We're light on people putting the ball in the back of the net. And yet West Ham fans are having a field day telling me we've won the transfer window. No, we haven't.
So what you're saying is the only problems you've got is you can't defend and you can't score. You can't create chances. Yeah.
But you know what it is? We're not used to signing many players. Moyes left our team in such a state with such a depleted squad and the oldest or the second oldest squad in the Premier League. Right, to add to that age demographic that we needed to bring down, we went and signed nearly 31-year-old Guido Rodriguez. We went and signed 31, nearly 32-year-old Fulkrug. You know, we're bringing in sort of veteran, older players, and that's supposed to bring. We've let go younger players, younger goalkeepers and academy players, so that the average squad age has gone up. We're like, what it is people get so giddy that we actually made 9/10. Oh, another one was Wes Foderingham as third goalkeeper. Right, so people are so giddy, we've actually made signings and we've not been sitting there on transfer deadline day going, oh, don't go to bed, let's hope we sign someone before the deadline. That people are really excited saying it's great, but it's not great. We've got a Brazilian kid that is not even getting in the match day squad. And there's rumours, and I have to be very careful with how I word this on our channel. It's alleged that Steidon was going to Brazil for a Brazilian, but not necessarily any football, if you know what I mean.
Right, okay.
On their club expenses and not coming home with any players, just a load of failed negotiations for players no one had ever heard of. Then comes back with his kid. He can't get in the squad. Tadibo looks shaky. Kuhlman seems all right. He's had 2 great games and 2 terrible games.
Is that defense in a centre back is a team thing? You can quite easily look bad with if your team's got defended. So two quick ones with that. What I've noticed from when you go there before we move on. Do you think being made captain's affected Bowen?
No, I think the system's affected Bowen, and I think if he kicks into gear, it's like the last 2 games, the system he's played in has been more of your traditional 4-2-3-1, where he's come back and helped out the fullback, but he's also made them runs and cut inside, and he's looked a lot better, a lot more lively. He's run at defenders, and he's seemed more like Bowen. For the first few games, it was adapted, and he even had a game playing number 9 up front, and we're not playing those sort of slide rule like the triangle button on FIFA
The
passes.
Vieira passes, we call them. Vieiras.
To get him in. So all it was lump it up to him and watch him get out muscled by a big old centre-back brute. So, no. I defended Owen. I think the game has changed in terms of captain, and we did an episode on what makes a captain, the quality of a captain. That's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You go and have a look at that if anyone's listening. And I defended the fact that in this day and age, the game has changed. You haven't got many Roy Keane or Brian Robson or very aggressive, shouty, angry hairdryer captains anymore. You can't do that with this sensitive generation of players. You haven't got many Alex Ferguson types throwing teacups around in the dressing room.
Kicking boots.
Yeah, do you remember that with Beckham and all that? So it's changed. You do that now, they're calling up the chairman and they're ringing HR and they want a week off with mental health. Like the world's changed, the game's changed. And I kept referencing, you don't need to be shouting and hollering to be a good leader. You just need leadership qualities. And again, we don't see what goes on the training ground Monday to Friday. And one of the best captains we've had for years was Mark Noble. You don't hear many stories about what he told me to do this on a pitch or he shouted at me. It's like things he does in the training ground. Him sitting down with the younger players. When Lingard came in on loan, he got on the team coach, put his headphones straight on, and Noble went, "No, turn it off." He went, "What?" He went, "No, we don't have phones on the journey. We sit and talk as a team. That's how we bond." You know what I mean? And it really changed his opinion. He's like,
you hear that story, them stories about Scott Parker as well when he was at yours.
Yeah, but he was never captain. Never captain. Never had the armband, but just had those leadership qualities. So, and I always point to that you don't need to be vocal and shouting and aggressive and Mr. Angry and veins popping, because I've got two words for you. Bobby Moore. Lifted the World Cup for England, lifted trophies for West Ham in the 60s, was our captain. Didn't need to be that way. However, when we played Chelsea, the second goal went in. You're looking for your captain, and Bowen's on the halfway line. I love Bowen, but he's on the halfway line with his hands on his hips, looking down at his boots. And you're thinking, where's the leadership?
To me, that's where you want to go over to speak to someone. If that was me. I mean, you've seen me do this. You see when we played that game. You go over and speak to someone. Just give someone a little bit of information to help them. And the thing is, a lot of the time when I've done it, and I've learnt this from...
You've done it with me. You've done it with me on the pitch, and the positioning, and the role I was playing up front. You went, help the team out. It's going to be like donkey work. Help the team out, and you'll get chances. We'll get chances. A minute later, we scored.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've noticed about doing things like that, and I'd learnt this when I worked at the bank the first time, a lot of the time, if I say I'm speaking to you, if I say to you, just stand in the box and just be a wall for us, you could understand that, right? And I get that. But the perception is people around you will hear your conversation. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm saying to you, what we need to do is try and stay within this 6-yard box here, because we'll get the ball. Let us do the running, do this little bit here, just stop them playing out the back. He'll do that. I'm giving information to you, but I'm giving information to everyone in your vicinity that I'm speaking sense. And I'm saying, I don't know if you remember what I said. It's like, he's good enough to get you the ball to feet. He's good enough to get on that. I'm bigging them up, even though I'm not talking to them. And I'd expect someone like Bowen I tell you what would be nice to see. I wonder if they do it. They obviously have media training when they become professional footballers and all that stuff. I wonder if the captain has any conversations separately from the group, or maybe the whole leadership group, knowing about perception. So we were taught is perception might not be true for you. I could perceive you as a dick, but people that know you could say, no, it's not. But perception is what I see. Perception is truth, because I don't know you enough. So with these players, then, if you're perceived as he's not arse, fuck it then. I'm not arsed. Even though it might be, his body language might be, fucking hell, this is shit. What do I need to do? How can I do it? He might be generally inside thinking completely different to what his body language is saying, but maybe that's coming across to other players that are not reading, especially ones that don't English not their first language.
Yeah.
But imagine if you only have broken English, but so we speak a bit of broken Spanish. If we see someone in Spanish speaking to one of our players going and pointing, like, you go here and pointing, going, bien, you know what bien is? Bien's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know certain words. So if he's saying he's good, he'll do this, he'll do this. If you then ask someone who speaks your language, what do you say? Oh, he's saying you're good enough to do this, to give him the chance to do it. You're now lifted. So maybe that's, I don't know if that's something that they do that, But I've noticed it's a way that I've done it working in the bank. About every time I've ever trained anyone in anything, especially even in the bar in Tenerife, you could make the simplest drink I've showed you. You could pull that pint perfectly. I could walk past you and all I go is, all right, pint man, calm down. Bloody hell, everyone's going to get jealous. And it's little things like that.
Yeah.
It's not affecting the one. Yeah, it's not the one person I'm talking to. It's everyone.
Yeah, psychology, 100%. And perhaps that's what you need. I mean, we've spoken about, and I don't want to make this too much West Ham centric, but we've spoken about Emerson looked like his edge drop. He's not been the same. Kudus looks like his shoulders are hunched and his edge drop. Now there's talk of that. You know, Paqueta's obviously got his gambling thing hanging over his head. Emerson is Paqueta's best mate. So it might be like if you were in trouble, you're like, you're my bro. I'm worried about you if you're down in the mouth and you're stressed about something. Like, so it could be affecting.
Send me a new coat.
Yeah, send you some fluffy socks. So yeah, it could be that. It could be that that's what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, some good fixtures over the weekend. People, let us know in the comments. Like and comment below. The old views are really starting to pick up lately, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. If you're listening on Spotify or Alexa or Apple Music or TuneIn Radio or any of those other podcast platforms, try and leave us a little review, 5-star review, and get your comments in. And remember, if you come over to YouTube, like and comment and subscribe over there as well, because there's more videos on YouTube than we have the bandwidth to upload onto Spotify, etc. So there's always extra content on the, and then I'm sending in aeroplanes for the audio only listeners. Right, we're going to leave it on this one. I know that it's probably your question for me, and I don't know if you've got one ready, but I've got one ready for you. Just because we've done this off the cuff, I've got a who am I for you. I think you'll get it. I'll back you to get it. If this was in a pub quiz, I would go, yeah, Kanye's going to get this one.
Go on and throw it up, man.
Right, let me. We can't do it properly without the old Henry Kelly. Who am I?
Who am I?
I started my career in Spain before moving to the east coast of England in 2018. So started in Spain, moved to the East Coast in 2018.
Okay.
3 years later, I moved to the Midlands for £38 million. I made my international debut in 2022, but a serious knee injury saw me miss the 23-24 season. Who am I? Now, see, I realise now that I gave you one that was a little bit before your time. So I've tried to fix one that's present day, current player. And I will give you 3 yes or no questions at your disposal.
Right, okay. So he played in Spain, moved to South Coast, you say, or East Coast?
The East Coast of England, but I don't really think that helps much.
No.
I know.
And then was moved across to the Midlands.
We did reference that area when talking about one of the teams we've reviewed, but not necessarily that team.
Geography's not the greatest, so we'll crack on that. Then he moved to the Midlands for £38 million. When was that? When did it say?
That would have been 3 years later, so that would have been
2021.
Yeah, and I think that's a great clue. If you think about some of the bigger Midlands clubs, you can narrow that down. And Spanish players, so I think that puts you in good
stead. But he's not Spanish; he's Argentinian.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Go on. Because yeah, correct.
Yeah, because he came from Spain, he went to Norwich, and then from Norwich he went to Aston Villa. Buendia. Get it up, yeah.
Brilliant. Well done. So when I said to you earlier on about we spoke about that area, but not that. So when we spoke about Ipswich, Norfolk, East Anglia, so Norwich. Yeah. Well done. That was good. That was good. Well done.
Whoa, that'd be tested. That.
I fancied you to get that though. Have you got anything back for me on this episode, or do you want to save it for another one?
This is an old one, right? That we used to do as a kid. Let's see if you can get this one. So, Man United playing Wimbledon. Right.
By the way, listeners, we're going to do an episode on the Crazy Gang at some point, and we've been asked to do that, so we're going to do that.
Big John Fash with the elbow. Bang.
Oh, yes. Fash the Bash.
Fash the Bash. So, Man United versus Wimbledon. Eric Cantona scores the first goal in the 27th minute, but got sent off in the 68th. How did Cantona score the 92nd minute winner?
In the same game?
Same game.
Was there a different player with the same name?
Nope, it was Eric. It was Eric Cantona.
And he scored.
He scored in the first half, but got sent off.
He scored on 27 minutes. He got sent off on 68 or something.
But got sent off on the 68th. Yep. And then scored.
He got a red card.
Yep.
Right. And then you're telling me that Eric Cantona came on the pitch under some circumstance and scored the 92nd
minute winner.
You sure it wasn't in the replay? He scored the 92nd.
Same game.
Well, how could he have been allowed to have come back on the pitch unless there's a wording technicality in the wording here that I'm not picking up?
Maybe there is a technicality in the wording.
Right, so let's hear it again. Let's hear how you word it. Say it to me
so
again.
Cantona scores in the 28th minute to give United the lead.
Which Cantona?
Eric Cantona.
Scores for Manchester
United.
Yeah. On the 27th minute.
But got sent off in the 68th.
Of the same game.
Again, and in the same game, Eric Cantona scored a 92nd minute winner. How?
And it was ruled as a legal goal. It was
legal goal and a legal red card. Yep, all legit.
Well, I'm stumped on that one. I don't know the answer to that one. That's why you'd even need to know it as a trivia.
Yeah,
like a pub
it's what I said. Cantona scores, but got sent off.
Oh, that is,
Nicky Butt was sent off.
Excellent.
You know that one?
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's brilliant. Yeah, well done.
That's what we used to do as a kid. Yeah, that one.
That is really good. Yeah, but I like that one. Definitely keeping that one in the lockup to trick somebody else.
You can use that with the boys on the other podcast, on the Hammers.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So along the same, this will give it away now because you know the sort of technique, but along the same thing, not football related. It's a cowboy rode into a town on Friday. He stayed for 2 days and 2 nights, but he left on Friday. How did he do it?
So wait.
It's the same theory, right?
Yeah. I was thinking, like, where's the road?
No, wrong word. A cowboy rode in on Friday. He stayed for 2 days and 2 nights, and he left on Friday. How is this possible? Because he wasn't there a full week, was he? In order for it to be the following week. So
no.
So it's the same. The horse's name is Friday.
Oh, he rode it on Friday. Yeah, you go. You see, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. So while we're on the animal topic, I don't know if this is for on or off camera. You got a funny Bobby, the doggy story, didn't you?
Oh, bro, I'll send you the video, right? So I was walking. This will be the one before we go, right? He's just there looking at me. Why's his leg up? Weirdo. He must be having a dream. So, right, I'll send you the video, right? So
it
I'm
might
walking.
Be your reflection. You sure it's him and not your reflection?
No, I wish I was that good looking.
I wish you could pick your own balls.
Yeah. Technique. So I was walking the dog earlier, right? And in this garden, they've got a stone dog. So as I'm walking, I'm sending Ali a voice note. And I see him. I'm walking. I just stop. Like, what's he looking at? Walk back, and he stopped, and he's eyeballing this stone dog, like, and a little underneath him, growling a little bit, and he's creeping forward towards it to wait to see what it does. I was like, Bubs, what are you doing? That's not even a dog. You can't smell the dog. What are you doing? And he's literally creeping towards it. Like, oh my God, I had to pull him away. Like, what are you doing? But also, in our last episode, I don't know if you can hear from the 57th minute, you can hear the dog growling in the background.
Right. Goodness me. Well, have a listen out for that, everybody. Look, any other business? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, we're good for now. We had a good hour session for everyone to listen to. Big shout out to Ollie Mitchell, who was, when he took me for food before I left Tenerife, was listening to our podcast. He downloaded it in his car. Nice, big shout out to Big Man Ale. We'll get you on. We'll discuss your unpopular opinion, because I don't think it's unpopular. I think you're bloody wrong.
Oh, we'll have to debate then. I'll have to referee it, and you can go head to head with Ali. I want to talk Scottish football as well, so I want to get Ali on. We'll sort that out, get him on. And old Big Tezza must be back from his little trip away soon, so we can do top 10 worst goalkeepers as well. Yeah,
we'll do that.
Top 10 best goalkeepers was a popular episode, and got I sent you a thing. We got quite a lot of downloads on Spotify and that this week, so it's building.
We're building.
Yous are all helping build. Keep coming in the comments. Keep getting at us. Another good episode. Until next time on
Opinions from Offside.
We'll see you soon.
Peace out.
Keep balling, baby.